Okay guys, please, as you can see, these are the patterns we actually drafted. So please make sure you trace it out with the material. As you can see, we folded out material. Make sure you trace it out. This is what you do. After tracing it out, please take the material, use it and trace out exactly on your lining. Please, whatever you trace out here is exactly what you do on your lining. So after we are done doing that, we are now going to be joining the dart parts. As you can see, all the dart joinings, we are still going to be doing it. Okay guys, as you can see, I'm done cutting it out. This is the material, this is the lining. So all you need to do is to take your chalk, make sure you mark on the wrong sides so as not to make mistake while coupling it. Make sure you mark on the wrong side. As you can see, please make sure you do the same thing on all sides, and also make sure you do the same thing on the lining. This really helps us in order to couple very well, couple our dress very well. So this is what you do. Okay, so after you are done, next thing we are going to be doing now is to first of all close up the dart areas. What do I mean by that? Okay, so let me show us. So this is the front part. As you can see, what we are going to do, look at it, expand it like this. Now look at it, expand it like this, and also this one, expand it this way. Okay, also the same thing as this one. Now you seeing it. Next thing we are going to be doing is from here we are going to be joining to this part ½ inch or through. Are you seeing it? Easy. Join it in a way that make sure that the two edges are equal. Are you seeing it? Gently join it till you finish it here. Are you seeing it? Please make sure you do that. From here, now look at it. Let me show us again. From here, look at it. From here, make sure you join it and make sure the two edges are equal. Are you seeing it? Make sure the two edges are equal till you finish joining it towards this area. Are you seeing it? Please also do the same thing here. Now let me show us. Also do the same thing here. Are you seeing it? From this area, from this point, from the down part, make sure you join, making sure that the two seams are equal. Join it towards this area. At the end of the day, we have this ABC equal joined together. Please make sure you do the same thing on the lining. Please, the same thing to the back. Make sure you join. Okay, now let me show us the back, how to actually join the back. Okay, so let's say this is the back. Are you seeing it? Let me show us. Okay, now as you can see, this is actually the back. This is one part of the back. So because of the zipper allowance, as you can see, the back has been divided. Okay, now look at it. Are you seeing one part of the back? Now look at it. Look at one part of the back. So all you need to do is to make sure you close here. From here, make sure you join ½ inch towards this side. Are you seeing it? The same thing to this particular area. Now look at it. The same thing towards this particular point. Make sure you join from here. Are you seeing it? From here, ½ inch towards this area. So that's what we're going to do on the machine now. So when I finish it, we move over into the next step. Please make sure you do the same thing you do on the material on the lining. Please exactly the same thing until we move to the next step. Yeah. Okay guys, as you can see, we are done sewing out the dart point. As you can see, we are done doing it both on the linings. Now look at it. We are done it both on the linings and on the material. As you can see. So next thing we are going to do is to iron them. As you can see, I've ironed these ones here. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys how to iron. Especially this is the front. Now please make sure you expand this place. You all should remember what I actually stitched here with is ½ inch. Do you understand? So now open it wide and iron it like this. Are you seeing it? Open the seam wide and iron it like this. Please, this helps it to relax and finally give us a very neat finishing and a nice work. Okay, just do it like this. Also make sure you do the same thing at this very point. Okay, so this is exactly what you do on all the parts that you've actually stitched. Do you understand? All the dart areas that you've actually stitched, this is what you are going to do both on material and then the lining. Okay. Okay guys, after you're done, As you can see, this is the lining. I've actually joined these dart seams and also done what I've ironed it very well. So next thing we are going to be doing, I'm going to be reducing my lining with at least 1 inch. Please, you can reduce with 1 or 2 inches. So I'm going to be doing that with what, 1 inch. Okay. So after you are done reducing, as you can see, please, I want you to notice that I actually place my lining both the front and the back together. So that means I'll be cutting off this. Now, the essence of cutting this enough is to make sure that whenever you're wearing the dress, the lining will not be coming out from the back part, please, from the wrong part, please. That is the reason why we do this. It helps us get a neat finishing. Now, what this thing means is that the material, are you seeing it, is now longer than the lining. So I'm going to be showing us how to do the stitches. So let's go to the machine and do the stitch. So guys, as you can see, this is the material. Are you seeing it? See the down part? Please, you can start sewing from the upper part or from the down part. That is the upper part, which is the neck. Are you seeing it? Or from the down part. Now this is actually the lining. Please make sure you face the right part facing right part. Are you seeing it? Face it. So I'm going to start sewing from the down part. Please, before you start, I want you to make sure that the two are equal. If they are not equal, then make sure you share the excess on both sides. Please don't just leave it on one side. Okay, then I'm going to be sewing 1/2 inch here. Are you seeing it? Joining the two together. As you can see, guys, I've actually done that. Now look at it. The two has been joined together. Now look at it. When you open it up like this, are you seeing it? So next thing I'll be doing is, I'm not just going to be leaving it like this. I'm going to be top stitching on top of the lining. But for you to top stitch on top of the lining, please, I want you to see something. Now see the seam here. Are you seeing it? Make sure it's facing the lining. Please don't make sure it's not facing the material you top stitch. Are you seeing it? Make sure it's what, facing the lining. So this is how I'm going to top stitch. As the seam is facing the lining, look at how I top stitch. Okay, make sure you keep it on the lining. Make sure it is up to 1/4 inch or 1/8 gap. Then make sure you sew, and as you're sewing, you always know that the seam, look at it, is facing the lining. Okay guys, as you can see, now look at it. Are you seeing it? Very nice. Now look at the back part. Look at it. The seam is facing the lining. Okay, so after you are done, we are going to do exactly the same thing on the upper side. That is the neck. Now look at it, please. We are going to do exactly the same thing. Please make sure you place this, making sure that both of them are placed rightly, equal, so that the center will be matching to the center and the sides will be matching to the side. So after you are done, we are going to be sewing. But this time around, me personally, I don't like using 1/2 inch to sew this side. I like using 1/4 inch, so that I will not take up all my allowance. Okay, place it like this and make sure you sew out the neck. Please, as you are sewing this neck, please be very careful and make sure that the two edges are rhyming. Then also make sure that this one is equal. From that distance, make sure that this one is equal before you continue stitching, please. If it is not equal, if there's something I usually like my students to do, somehow negligibly manipulate it. Make sure you draw one so that it will be equal with the other one. Okay, so after you are done, next thing you are going to be doing is also you are going to be top stitching. Now look at it. Make sure that the seam is facing towards the lining. Okay, and make sure you top stitch. You can see that I'm done sewing out the upper part and the lower part. Please never you start from the side. Make sure you start either from the upper part or from the lower part. Then after you are done with the upper and lower, make sure you do what? Stitch the sides. You can also use the same 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch to stitch the side. Okay, so make sure, see, I want you to do something. Make sure that it is equal from here. Are you seeing it? Now when it is equal from here, you can see how this place is. This is actually what I want us to achieve, so that at the end of the day, the lining will never come out while wearing this dress. Okay, so start from here. Please, the same thing you do on this front part is exactly what we are going to be doing on the back. Okay guys, remember I said exactly what you did on the front is what you are going to do at the back. Now look at what you are going to be doing. I'm going to be sewing the upper part first. Are you seeing it? Then I top stitch it. Then I also sew the down part. This is one part of the back. Do you know that the center is for the zip? We still have another one. Okay, then after sewing the upper part, you do what? Top stitch the same way you do the down part. Do you understand? Then how do you do the down part? After you finish working on the upper part, take this one and make sure you place exactly at the down part. Make sure you sew it. After sewing it, top stitch. Then next thing you are going to be doing is you are going to be stitching the sides. Okay. So guys, as you can see, I'm done stitching the downside, the upper side of this bag, and I'm done stitching this side. So I want to show you guys about this place. This place, you don't just sew it this way. Do you understand? You just start sewing. No, you fold it towards this way. You see me, so that the top stitching will come in towards the lining. You see me, the material coming towards the lining. So that's how you sew it from here. Okay. Then you always make sure that here is rhyming to what you actually want it. So now make sure you do what. So when you sew, make sure you back stitch towards this side. The next thing you are going to be doing is to make sure you do what? Open it up through here. Are you seeing it through the armhole? Please always know that we are still going to trim the armhole again because of this is what Princess Dart, how we actually cut it. Remember, we added extra 2 inches just to make sure that, so at the end of the day, you notice that our armhole is smaller. Are you seeing it? So we're still going to trim it back. I'm going to show us how to do that. So as you can see, this is it. This is it. Okay, please also make sure you turn the front part. Then next thing we are going to do is we are going to iron it. I'm going to show us how to iron it. Okay, next I'll be sewing the front and the back material together, but before I sew it, I need to get the place and which I'm going to sew. So now I'm going to be teaching us the simplest and the most convenient way of stitching, so that at the end of the day, the clothes will be perfect on the owner. Okay, so first of all, remember what we did initially. From here, let's still mark out the underbust. The underbust in this case is what? 12 inches. Okay, no, it was not the underbust we actually used, it was the waistline. Okay, this is the waistline. Then the underbust, which is 12 inches. Okay, let me mark it out again. The underbust, which is 12 inches, while the bust line, which is what? 9 inches. Okay, now why here is the hip line. So we are going to impute the measurement. So now let's do that. So the rack bust is 34. 34 divided by 4 is 8.5. Okay, now place it. Make sure you place it here. As you can see, this thing is having a curve here. That is because of the darts which we added here and here. So that's why it's having a curve. So now place it like this and place the measurement. As you can see, this is 8.5. Okay, so now let's do the same thing on the underbust. Underbust is 30 divided by 4, which is 7.5. As you can see, this is 7.5. Please make sure that this is placed equally. Are you seeing it? Okay, then the round waist is 29, that is 7.1 quarter. So you can see this is actually 7.1 quarter, while the blouse zip is 36 inches, which is 9 inches. Okay, so mark out your 9 inches. So now we've gotten everything. All we need to do is to make sure we join it together, connect everything. Okay, so after you've connected, there is this secret, there is this method which I'm going to be teaching us now. The method is to what? Take a pin. Now look at it. Take a pin and pin alongside the measurement points. Are you seeing it? Take a pin and pin alongside the measurement points. The essence of us doing this thing is to make sure we duplicate the same point on the other side. Okay, as you can see, we are done placing the pin. Okay, place it very well. We are done placing it. So all you need to do is to turn this side and take your chalk and mark alongside the pin. The pin is going to guide you in order for you to get the correct measurement on this very side. As you can see what I've just done. The pin has actually guided me. Are you seeing it? Okay, so next thing you need to do is to make sure you remove all the pins. Keep it safe, because you are still going to be using them. Okay, so when you remove it, next thing you're going to do is to expand this particular one. Then all you need to do is to take this, place here. Are you seeing it? When you place it here, then you also take this one, place here. Okay, then after you are done placing them, take it to the machine and make sure you sew both. Make sure that both of the edges are equal. Sew it like this. Are you seeing it? And also do the same thing on this one. Sew it like this. As you can see, we've not trimmed the armhole and we've not joined the shoulder. So this is the step, the perfect step for us to follow. So let me go and sew it together. So guys, as you can see, I'm done stitching out this part. So I'm done stitching out this part and I'm going to stitching out this particular part. So all I'm going to do is to open my seam like this. Are you seeing it? And iron it. Please, you also do the same thing on the other side. Okay, then next I'm going to be showing out what next to do. Okay guys, the next step to follow is to make sure, now look at it very well. The next step to follow is to make sure that you fold it out into two. Are you seeing it? This is the zipper area, this is the zip side. So next thing we are going to do, since we have folded it into two, is this method of coupling dress helps to make sure that the dress fits perfectly well. So now next thing we are going to do is to also divide our measurement into two. As you can see, this is the bust size, bust length, this is the under bust, and this is the waistline. Okay, so now the bust divided by 2, which is 34 divided by 2, is going to give us 7. Now make sure you place it. Since this thing has a small cup or a small bust on it, all you need to do is to hold it this way. Using it, draw it out. Okay, making sure that you mark out the word 17. So now as you can see, look at it here, 17. Okay, do the same thing at the under bust. Under bust, which is 30 divided by 2, is what? 15. Okay, make sure you mark out 15 inches. Are you seeing it? Mark out 15 inches. Do the same thing at the waist side, which is 29 divided by 2 is 14 and a half. Okay, mark out 14 and a half. And finally do this at the blouse hip side. That is 36 divided by this thing is 18 inches divided by 2 is 18 inches. Now, as you can see, we've gotten all the measurement points. So all we are going to do is to make sure we connect it together in order to form the shape properly. Now next thing we are going to do, we are going to be taking a loose stitch, please, because this side is the zipper area. We're still going to fix zip. Now the reason why we are actually sewing here, first of all, is to make sure that we create a guide so that when we put in zip, it will be so easy for us to know where to put zip. So we are going to take a loose stitch and sew this side, then bring it back and iron it. So as you can see guys, I'm done joining the back. Are you seeing it? I will still put the zip, but for now let me go on the make sure I join the shoulder. So you can see I'm not joining the shoulder. After I finish joining the shoulder, all I need to do is to trim my armhole and fix my sleeve, then finally put the zip, and this tutorial is over. Thank you very much. So I'm going to be fixing the shoulder now. So as you can see, the next thing to do is to join the shoulder. So I have another simple way of joining the shoulder. So I'll be showing us two ways which are join shoulder. First method is as it is like this. Are you seeing the front? Hold the front together, both the material and the lining. Then see the back. Now open up the back like this. Are you seeing it? Open it up like this. Now next thing you are going to do, take this front one, put it like this. Are you seeing it? Put it. Make sure it is touching to this middle part. Are you seeing it? Then turn this one up like this. Okay, so what you are going to do next, just put it in your machine and sew half inch throughout. At the end of the day, we have finished sewing the so you can see, then turn it out like this. Now as you can see, we are done. Now look at the lining side, look at the front side. Are you seeing it? We are done sewing it out. So this is exactly the same thing we do on this very side. So guys, as you can see, I'm done joining out the two shoulders, as you can see. So next thing I'll be doing is what? I'll be recutting the armhole. As you can see, the armhole is so small because of that extra 2 inches we added, so as to make sure that here did not shorten. So I'm going to be doing what again? I'm going to be marking it out again. So as you can see, from here to here is really our shoulder. So I'm going to be measuring from here. Remember, our armhole length is exactly what we have on our shoulder divided by 2. Shoulder is 14 divided by 2 is what? 7 inches. Okay, so I'm going to be measuring from here to here, which is what? 7 inches. Okay, so now look at it from here. Look at it. You curve it out in order to get your armhole. Are you seeing it? So I'm going to be using my scissors in order to cut to get my armhole. Please make sure you place this very, very well. Are you seeing it? Okay. Are you seeing it? I've now actually cut it. So next thing I'll be doing is I'll be cutting it again. Now this time around, I'm trying to apply a little bit of armhole effect. Now as you can see, I'm applying the armhole effect. Look at it from here. Cut out half inch like this. Okay, so look at it. This is only the front part. Then finally, what we are going to do, look at this particular place. Look at this particular place. It's going towards this way. Now cut it off this way so as to make sure everything is relaxing very well. So that when we sew the sleeve, it's not going to pass the whole of this, making it uncomfortable. It's going to pass only through here. So as you can see, this is now cool. So all you need to do is to take your stitch and go and hold it first before fixing the sleeve. So you do the same thing on the other sleeve. Okay guys, as you can see now, I'm done with almost everything. It's just remaining for me to teach you guys how to cut a sleeve and fix it here, and also I'll be fixing this zip here now. Now all you need to do is to turn the back. Now as you can see, this part I asked you guys to close. Remember I asked you to close it with a loose stitch so that you can be able to open it up. Are you saying it? So I'm going to be fixing the sleeve now, the zip now. Okay, now turn it this way. Now the essence of sewing it out and ironing is just for us to have a guide, so as we are fixing our sleeve we know where exactly to fix. Now look at it, you put it like this, following the guide. Make sure you follow, as you can see my ironing guide. Make sure you follow the guide like this. Please make sure this thing is not coming out like this. Are you seeing it? So put it exactly here, or make sure that it enters inside a little bit. Now look at how I'm just placing this in. As you can see, it's here that I'll be sewing. I'll be making sure that my zipper here is relaxing on top of here. Are you seeing it? Okay, so I will now be sewing from here. Please, I want you guys to focus very well at this stage. This is very important. Now let me show you something. This is the point where you'll be sewing. Are you seeing it? Look at it very well. This is the point to be sewing. Are you seeing this side? This is the point. It's somehow different to this particular point. Okay, so let's sew. Please, as you are sewing, make sure you're also following the guide. That is the place you actually stitch and open. Okay, back stitch. Okay, so now place it again. Make sure you keep following the guide. Do you understand? Keep going through that line, because it's very necessary you sew through that line. This is what you do till you reach at the upper part of the dress, upper part of the back neck. Please make sure you keep following the guide. Okay guys, as you can see, after you are done sewing, now look at it. Are you seeing it? Look at it. Look at how this place is. Are you seeing it? Now let me open it back again. Are you seeing it? Look at how it is. So next thing we are going to be doing is, as you can see this very side. As you can see, so we are going to be taking this thing like this. Are you seeing it? Okay. So we are going to be placing it. Remember, this is a V-neck at the back. We are going to be placing it. Now at this point is the point that we stitched before, so place it so that it will be very equal to here. Many people used to make mistake. At the end of the day, their own will not be equal here. Please make sure you place it to be very equal. Okay, so after you are done placing it, take it to the machine and start sewing from there. Please, it's very important you do that. So you can see I started from the down part now to the upper part. Okay, make sure you follow through that same guide and then do what? Sew. Is the guide I'm talking about is the place you just loosen now. As you can see, I can see where I ironed it. It's always very important to follow the right guide. Make sure you back stitch. Okay, as you can see, I'm actually done sewing it out. Now look at it. Let me open the front and show you guys how it looks like. Now look at it. As you guys can see, it's looking very nice. Now I can actually do what? Open it up and they do what? Close it up. Okay, so next thing we are going to be doing, we are going to be locking out this side. Okay, it's not going to be as long as this. So now look at it. Open it up. Look at it. Open it up like this. Are you seeing it? Okay, so now look at this one. Look at how it is now. Now take it here. Please, whenever you are doing this thing on a V-neck, it's not usually easy compared to normal round neck. Place it like this. Are you seeing it? When you place it like this, and you can now see, look at it, place it like this. You can now turn it again. Turn it again like this. Are you seeing it? So I'm now going to be sewing on top of this. Now look at how it is at the back. Now let me do it again. Like this, fold it, then turn it like this. Are you seeing it? So I will now be sewing on top of this side. This is exactly the same thing you do on the other sleeve. So guys, as you can see, I'm done sewing it up. Now look at it, looking so nice, looking so neat. So you can actually open up your zip. You understand? Look at it. Are you seeing it? You open it up, then you close it back again. This is how you actually make a very nice zip. So you can see. Okay, so I will now be teaching you guys how to make the sleeve and how to properly fix it. Okay guys, so I'll be teaching us how to cut the sleeve. As you can see, the two things we need, the two measurements we need in order to cut the sleeve are the armhole length, that is the distance from here down to this side, which what we have is 7.5. You understand? So that is it for our own. Then another thing we also need is the armhole base. As you can see, from here to here, what we have is how many inches? 4 inches. So we have 7.5. We have 7.5 from here, okay? Our armhole length from here to here, we have 7.5, and we have here 4 inches. Are you seeing it? So these are the two measurements that we need. Okay, so in order to work with it, this is the material that we've actually folded. All you need to do is to make sure you mark out your armhole length on your dress. That is 7.5, as you can see. Then add extra 2 inches to it. Now this 2 inches is constant, it's for ease. No matter your measurement, no matter your shoulder, just add these 2 inches. Then from this side, as you can see, make sure you mark out the 4 inches. Now look at it. Mark out the 4 inches. Just place your tape on that 2 inches and mark out the 4 inches. Now next thing you are going to be doing, as you can see what I'm doing, I'm going to be connecting it this way. Are you seeing it? I'm connecting it this way. Now I know some of us might be confused how I connected it this way, how I did this. Now look at it. If you cannot just do it like this, now let me give you the reason, the method that I actually use. Now look at it. From here to here is 7.5. Now try to divide it by 2, which is 3.75. Now on this particular point, try to place your tape and step down by half. As you can see, this thing is actually rhyming because I'm experienced with this. So now from this point, connect down to this point, then gradually place it here. So next thing we'll be doing is the sleeve length. Now the sleeve length is 7 inches. You can add extra 1 inch or extra 2 inches. Okay, so next thing we are going to be doing is to take our rule and rule down straight to achieve this line, our sleeve line. Okay, then next we are going to be doing is to place and then mark out the round sleeve, which is 12. 12 divided by 2 is 6 plus extra 2 inches or 1.5. Okay, so now we've gotten this point. All we need to do is to connect from here down to here. As you can see, we've actually formed the sleeve. As you can see, it's very, very simple. So next thing we need to do is to take the scissors and then cut it off. Please, I want you guys to know the two important measurements we actually need, which are the armhole length and the armhole base. So you can see, I'm done cutting it out. Next thing I need to do is to notch here so as to get the middle part. Okay, now please, I want you to take this to please make sure that this is 2. You cut it out into 2, then take it and place on your fabric and then cut. But there's something else I still want to show us here. Before you use it and trace on your material, your original material, please, I want you to also know that there's something we call armhole effect. Let's say in a situation whereby you've actually finished cutting this thing 2 places. Do you understand? So all you need to do is to take the right part, place it on the right part. Do you understand? Whether you are working with material on your lining, just take 2 of them, place them on the right parts. Like, look at what I mean. If this is your sleeve, so now take the right part of the fabric and face towards the right part, then place 2 of them together. Then from one part, try to take your chalk from here, reduce it by ½ inch. Are you seeing it? The same thing we did on our dress. Okay, the essence of doing this thing, because this side is going to be attached to the front part of the dress, so as the armhole, the darting will be complete, half here and half on the dress. So all you need to do is to take your scissors and then cut it off. Okay, so at the end of the day, while fixing it on the dress, this is how it's going to be fixed. Now look at it. Let me show you guys. While fixing it on the dress, as you can see, this is how it's going to be fixed. Are you seeing it? Here, is going to be joined to this side that has the armhole effect. Okay, so after you are done, next thing you're going to do, take this one and trace out on your fabric. Please make sure you shorten this one with 1 inch so as to have that effect that at the end of the day your lining will not be coming outside. People will not be seeing your lining. You will have a very nice finishing. Thank you very much. So I'll be teaching us how to how to couple it together, both the lining and the fabric itself. Thank you.